Welcome to Rayat Online School Education 2021-22 Sadhguru Garge Maharaj College, Karad. Guidance by Principal Dr. Mohan Rajmani Sir. Standard 11. Subject Bookkeeping Accountancy. Myself Patel Zinat Badsha from SGM College, Karad. Today we are going to see chapter number 3, Journal. As already we have been started with the first and we have been completed chapter number first and second. Today we are going to see the third journal. In this journal, the contents which we are going to see in this chapter is meaning, importance and utility of accounting documents. Then meaning, definition, importance and utility of journal. Then third is specimen of journal. And number 4 is the recording of journal entries according to the GST formulations or formalities. So let's start with the chapter number 3, Journal, with our basic point, introduction. As you all know that bookkeeping means recording all the day-to-day business transactions on the basis of the documents. Now, here you are going to come to know what do you mean by a document. The word document means a piece of a paper which provides you a detailed information as a legal nature. So, a document is not only a piece of paper, but it also gives you a detailed information, because any documentation which has been kept by the businessman is always for the legal nature also. Legal nature means for the legal formalities. Document is like a legal proof for recording every transaction. As you know that bookkeeping means recording the day-to-day transactions in the proper books of account. So these are the supporting documents which is said as a piece of a paper which is a detailed information as a legal nature. Example if I'll give to you, when we purchase a computer for cash, 30,000, we get a cash memo. Yes or no? Whenever you go to a particular shop and when you want to purchase a computer and you are going to purchase a computer for cash, we get that cash memo from the shopkeeper. Now, when you get the cash memo, this cash memo is a source document. The person or accountant first ensure the reliability and legal proof of the transactions recording in the books of accounts. Every entry in books of account is supported by the relevant documentary evidence. Whenever you are going to enter any of the transactions in the books of account, that should be always supported by the relevant documentary evidence. Evidence plays a very important role over here, because with the help of evidence, documentary evidence, when you have a cash memo when you purchase a computer, on that basis you can write the transactions in the books of account. These papers are called as accounting documents. Accounting document is said as a base for entering the business transactions into the books of account. Every bookkeeping, which is a record keeping of the day-to-day transactions, need the base of the supporting documents, and these accounting documents is considered as the base which is said as a supporting documents too whenever you are entering the various types of the business transactions in the books of accounts. Further, we will see after the importance and the example, now we will see the importance and utility of the accounting documents. What are the importance and what are the utility? Utility means usefulness. Usefulness of the accounting documents, what are they? We will see. Point number 1 is documents are necessary for recording all transactions into the books of account. Yes, of course, now only we have seen that documents is considered as a base. It is said as a supporting. So always documents is necessary whenever you are recording the transactions in the books of accounts. Second is the accounting transactions are recorded in proper mode and computer based. Whatever transactions you are recording, that should be there in proper mode and it should be computer based. Number 3 is accounting documents are stored in physical files or in software. Of course, yes, today we store all the accounting documents in the computer, in the software, or otherwise you have the physical files. Files are kept and on that basis it has been done. Next is accounting documents are legal evidence for court matters. Of course, yes, as it is said as legal evidence. Evidence, it is like a proof. Whenever you want to sue the third person into the court, any of your rival parties are there or anybody must have cheated you. At that time, when you want to put your case into the court, at that time, that will be considered as a legal evidence for the court matters. Number 5 is accounting documents are required for charity commissioner office. Number 6 is accounting documents are required for payment of state government and local body authority. These, the 6 points were the importance and the utility of the accounting documents. Further, we will see the most important accounting documents for recording the transaction in journal are as follows. What are the important documents for recording the transaction in the journal? The first point we will see is voucher. Now we will see the meaning and the example of voucher. So, voucher is a document that supports a payment made by the businessman. Any businessman, of course, yes, has to pay. Okay, so when a payment is done by the businessman, a voucher is a document that supports the payment. It is a legal evidence that certain sum of money has been paid to a specific person or a party. If suppose you are a businessman and you want to pay to the another businessman or another party a specific amount, and when you pay through a voucher, that voucher is considered as a legal evidence. There are different types of voucher which are prepared by the businessman. Of course, yes, various types of vouchers are there which is prepared by the businessman into different parts. Examples is given cash voucher, then is bank voucher, purchase voucher, sales voucher, travels bills, wages bill, salary bills, etc. Like, of course, a businessman has to deal with the various type of a thing. Purchasing is there, selling is there, he's traveling somewhere, he's giving a cash voucher, he's giving a salaries to the employee, or the wages are there, or giving a bank. These are the types which a businessman is dealing. From this, you must have understood that voucher is a document that always supports a payment which has been made by the businessman. Also, voucher act as a legal evidence that certain sum of money has been paid to a specific party. And what are various types of the various examples which are given here? Now only we all have discussed. Further, we will see about the two types of the voucher. The voucher is further divided into 2 points. What are these 2 points? We will see. The first point is internal voucher and the second point is the external voucher. One more is there which is said as journal voucher. So there are 3 types are there. Internal, external and the journal voucher. We also have a cash voucher, okay, etc. But now we will see first the internal and external voucher. So in the meaning it is said the internal voucher are the documents prepared internally by an organization. As the name itself is said internal voucher, that means any voucher which has been prepared internally by an organization or by an institution, either it's a financial institution or it's an educational institution or any type of organization, either it's a large scale, small scale, etc. If it is prepared internally, then you can say it as a internal voucher. The voucher which is created by the businessman itself and signed by the payee is called as a internal voucher. As now only we have discussed that it is prepared internally by an organization itself. So a voucher is created by the businessman itself and always it has been signed by the payee, which is called as a internal voucher. It is prepared when we cannot get receipt as a proof from such a transaction. Always remember, when it is prepared internally by an organization, when you cannot get the receipt as a proof for such a transaction. If any transaction you did, but you do not get, every time you don't get a proof for that, or you do not get receipt for that, at that time it can be prepared internally by the organization which is created by the businessman itself is said as an internal voucher. Example is given, taxi fare. Now when you hire some taxi to go from one place to another, in a meter only the bill is there, that only you have to pay. Okay, for that any receipt does he give to you? No. Just like that, bus fare is there. When you enter into the bus, from the conductor you purchase the ticket, that only you are going to have like a proof. For bus you can have it. For auto fare, when you hire the auto again to go from one place to another, you see the bill and you pay. At that time, does they give some proof to you or some receipt to you that you have done such a transaction? No. So, taxi fare examples are given, bus fare or auto fare. So, when you do not get the receipt as a proof for any of a transaction, at that time, these internal vouchers are the documents which are prepared internally by an organization, creating the voucher by the businessman itself, signed by the payee, is called as an internal voucher, which is the first one. The second voucher is the external voucher. As the name, it's an internal, which is prepared internally. The second is the external voucher. External voucher are the documents which are generated from outside the business. Now, outside the business, it has not been prepared internally by the organization. These external vouchers are the documents which you get from outside of the business. It is a document which is received from an outside agency regarding the business transactions. If any of the business transaction takes place and you are getting the receipt as a proof of the transaction outside of the business, any of the agencies, that is said as an external voucher. Examples are given, tax invoice which is received from the seller for the purchase of goods or stationery. So when you purchase some goods or when you purchase some stationery, you get a tax invoice from the seller to the purchase of good, that is considered as external voucher. Then you can say receipt of electricity bills paid. Of course, when you pay the electricity bill, you get a receipt for that. Then the debit note is there, credit note is there, cash memo is there, etc. From these examples, you must have understood that External vouchers are generated from outside the business. It is always a document which you have received from an outside agencies regarding the business transactions. And from the examples given below, you have understood that these documents are generated from outside. So two types of vouchers we have seen today. The first is internal, the second is external. As you know, what is a voucher? Voucher is a document that supports a payment which has been made by the businessman. A voucher always acts as a legal evidence that certain sum of money has been paid to a specific person or a party. And the various type of the vouchers which are prepared, we already have been seeing the examples like cash, bank voucher, purchase, sale, travel bills, wages bills, salary bills, etc. And we have also seen the internal, external voucher. Okay, internal vouchers are those vouchers which have been prepared internally by the organization. When you do not get a proof, when you do any transaction and you do not get the proof for that, you do not get any receipt for that, then the organization make itself. And externals are those which are generated from outside of the business. From the outside agency, when you receive the documents, that is said as external voucher. Okay, so today we have started the new chapter that is said as a journal. In the journal, the first point was meaning, importance, utility of accounting documents, and then also we have seen about the voucher. Okay, so today we have started with intro, then we have seen the meaning, the examples, then we have seen the importance and utility of the accounting documents, and then we have seen the most important accounting documentations for recording transactions in the journal, which is voucher. Vouchers are further divided into internal voucher and external voucher. Afterwards, we will see in our next lecture about journal voucher, cash voucher, etc. Enough for today. Thank you very much.